All right. How's it going, people? Nice to see everybody. Man, this is a cool conference. It's really cool to be able to speak to all of you clearly about something I'm very passionate about. This is going to be a fun talk to be able to give. So thank you for all the slow claps apparently in the chat. That was pretty funny watching that. I am going to start things off by showing you something a little different, a little unique, a little fun to get started. By the way, you know, lower left corner of the screen, you know what to do. Find me. I want to take you through the path of Nik Leindecker, just to kind of show you just what I've been through. And I know there's a lot of different types of people on the call right now. So let's take a trip down memory lane, and let's. This is kind of fun for me to do. This was back in 2010. So when I was a sales manager, you know, being in the Maple Grove office, like Kyle was talking about, with all my assistant managers, with my district manager, Chris, running a first branch, meeting some cool friends along the way, winning some cool trophies, bringing, unfortunately, only 11 people to SC1 as a first branch, but you can see there the team. Going into a second branch, I remember after my first branch, I said, I did this because I want to do this again and improve. And having a much larger team, having an army at SC1, running our own race, getting a chance to be the #1 branch in the region for Conference of Champions at the end of the push. That was cool. And then getting promoted to a district manager. Yes, apparently I was promoted at 16 years old, as you can tell from my face in the pictures here. But being able to start a business immediately after graduating college. And then being a DM, a vet DM, having a lot of cool moments, you know, I tried to scroll through and find some cool moments from different trips I've taken, getting my BMW. Thank you, Vector, for that. I think that was Cabo, the last trip we went on, having some cool times in Olean with the crew. Bobby Sievertson and I going to Iceland, standing on a rock. I don't even know how that rock is supported like that. Throwing some axes, having some cool moments. I'm showing all that stuff because, oh, and I, of course, have to reveal this. This was a secret picture. You guys ready to see the very first picture ever as a Cutco sales rep for Nik? Here it is. That's right. 2009. This was really the only picture I could find of me as a rep. That's Becca. No, we were not dating. We met at Cutco office. She invited people to her grad party. First picture I ever took with Becca. And I was coming from a demo and I swung by her grad party. Found out later she didn't really personally invite me. She just invited like all hundreds of people on Facebook, and apparently I showed up. So she was surprised I even came, but there you go. So why am I showing you all this stuff? I've been there. I've been an assistant manager, a branch manager, a sales manager. I was even a satellite manager. Some of you don't even know what that is. I ran a satellite back in the day. Because there's a lot of different types of people on the call right now. You know, there's some of you are brand new branches. You're about to get started on your very first epic journey. You just got started last year. Some of you are coming back for round 2 as a veteran branch manager. Some of you are new DMs on the call. Some of you are veteran DMs and division managers and have been around for a long time. You know, up until this point in my career, I've been able to hold almost every position in Vector. And clearly, you know, I'm here to talk to you about the thing I'm very passionate about and what my role is right now. So because of the nature of my message, you know, since I'm talking about the district manager opportunity, I want you to understand that, you know, it'd be tough for me to talk about the district manager lifestyle unless I use my own personal experience, because that's what I've been able to experience. So anyway, that being said, I hope, you know, throughout my message, it doesn't come off as boasting or bragging. And because of that, I want to share with you just my gratitude for what I've been able to experience as a district manager. Did you ever think about what your life wouldn't be like if that person never called you because your friend recommended you to the job? Or what if you didn't get that social media messages that message? Or what if you didn't get that, you didn't apply it from Craigslist, or Dane, that's right, you didn't call in for the newspaper. It's pretty old. For me, it was the letter, you know? I wouldn't be here if I didn't open up that letter and look at it and decide to go in same day to an interview. Luckily, the receptionist was good and she got me in the very same day. So there's multiple things I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I first want to start just by talking about the superficial one, just to get that out of the way. And the financial side of being a district manager is pretty cool. You know, as a branch manager, I remember I profited before my senior year of college $20,000. And I didn't break any records. I branched $132,000. Being able to profit 20,000 bucks, though, that was very significant to me at the time. So I'm going to share with you kind of what I've been able to do financially. And I hope I can give you some tips and some things that maybe you can apply. And what I want to start with, though, is just kind of showing you the breakdown of, just so you can get an idea of what the sales were compared to what the income was. And, you know, I've based my career off of consistency. That's what I truly believe. So taking a look, I'm about to show you my sales numbers, and just know that, you know, this is the past few years, and this is really the consistency, whether there was not a breakout year, but this is kind of what we were able to do. And I'll show that to you in a second. All of you are in different stages. If you're a district manager, I remember being in existence mode, right? I remember just having the doors open. I remember being in survival mode where I was scrambling all the time. If you're there right now, I've been there. Sometimes you might have thoughts to throw in the towel, but you didn't because you're here. And that's business, that's life, right? You will get over those humps. You will experience that success. I don't think I'm at the maturity level of a business right now, but being able to lead through others and stabilize a business, that's a really exciting thing to do. So when I show you these sales numbers, you can decide whether or not that's something that you're excited about. But I've been pretty consistent, hovering around the $700,000 range in total business. And yes, you know, my income has fluctuated just a little bit slightly over the years. But I don't really believe that, and I think as managers, we even say this in training, that I don't think that money is the end all be all, or it's going to buy you happiness. I do think it eliminates a lot of the stresses in life, though. It eliminates a lot of the stress in life, and it gives you freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want. And for Becca and I, that's really been a blessing that the district manager model has. And there's so many different bonuses, et cetera. But, you know, I think there's value in just, and by the way, I'm saying my profit number in a second, because I had to, as a person, work through some money constructs that have been put upon me in my life. In my family growing up, it was really taboo to talk about money. My dad was definitely a saver, but he wasn't somebody who was open about that, or I guess enabling me to learn things that could move my money game forward. So I didn't get a chance to learn about those things as a younger person, which is why now I'm pretty open about that stuff, and I'm pretty open to share those things. And again, I'm not showing this to impress you or anything. It's to hopefully help you understand kind of what it looks like. And, you know, this was my largest profitability year this past year. And the cool thing about looking at that number is that's not the end all be all. When I see that, I don't say, oh man, I've totally made it. What I see what I think about when I see that is, I can clearly see what 200 grand looks like. I can clearly see what $250,000 looks like. And guess what? I think the best part about this is, I don't feel like I need a promotion to earn that. Because I know as a district manager, I can create that for myself without feeling like I could deserve something. And here's the best part, by the way. I'm not on this slide. So I'm showing you that because, by the way, it was number 32. Dang it, so close. And I think it's probably safe to say that there were some individuals on this list that I did profit more than. You know, I run a tight ship, if you asked other managers. So I'm showing that though, because hey, look, the income opportunity is really exponential when we take a look at this. And like I told you, that the profit number isn't the end all be all, but that's why I wanted to start with that. So you can just kind of get the perspective. So because of my financial, you know, I guess the prowess or the work I've put into mastering my mentality around money, I feel like I'm able to offer you a couple insights on what I feel like I've been able to do to get there. So, hey, one of the main things I've done is I save all my bonuses. You know, when I get a large sum, it's kind of nice to be able to put that away and not have to focus on needs. And I'm going to put this next one up here, and there is a big difference. Not spending is definitely different than saving. So for Beck and I've been blessed to be with a partner that actually values not overspending on things that maybe are not necessities at the time. You know, I've learned from Vector that as your income increases, your lifestyle does not necessarily need to also increase. However, I think a lot of professionals have that happen where they make a bunch of money and their expenses go up because they now have more at their disposal. So I believe it's been a blessing to just to be able to not have to do that and focus on saving compared to what's that next thing we need. And that's not the case all around. Like, that doesn't need to be your philosophy. That doesn't need to be what you value. For example, one of my best friends, him and his wife, they make similar income to what my wife and I do. They're in the corporate world, and you know, they're definitely focused on upgrading the newest thing in their house, or buying that new gadget, or buying a boat for 60 grand this past summer, right? So Beck and I aren't really focused on that. That's really great for them. That's just not our lifestyle. Anyway, another thing is just paying off your cards. You know, I do not spend something if I don't have the money to do it in my bank account. So I treat that very seriously, which is why I've never been in debt. And I'll say, besides student loans, which I paid off, you know, due to Vector. Okay, but Beck and I have never been in financial issues because of us having that mentality. We won't spend unless we have it. I believe that, and I say this in multiple talks I've given, in order to grow your numbers, you have to know your numbers. So are you disciplined in tracking things weekly? Because that's what I do. I have something I type in, and I look at all of our accounts, and it's cool to see those small wins to have it go up. Hey, pay your taxes, and we do it quarterly. That sounds kind of dumb, but Mike says this all the time. Hey, tip number one, actually pay your taxes, and on time. And then being able to invest. I'm able to max out my HSA, max out my Roth each year, save a lot of money into a HYSA. Some of you already might know this if you're a friend of mine, but we, Beck and I, Airbnb half of our property that we live in. So we actually live for free because that covers our mortgage. We bought the property intentionally to do that. I remember as a district manager saving that first $100,000. That's cool. And guess what? That took me the longest to do. And I'm going to tell you though, the next 100,000 and the next 100,000, the next 100,000, that actually happens way faster. Sometimes it's just that first hump. Hey, can you save even $100 right now? Or can you save even $1,000? Or after the end of this best year ever, like Mike talks about, can you save some of that money and put it into your first investing situation? and then read some books. I can give you some ideas later on what books to read, but continuously growing and learning matters. Hey, if you're interested in setting up a money market account, again, you can ask your DVM and all that stuff, but I share this all the time. It's available to anybody over $20,000 as a sales rep. Just take a screenshot of this. I'm basically handing it over to you. This is all you do. She'll get you started. You can actually have Vector take out a certain amount of money, and then you can put this into account every single week. It adds up for you, and then you just transfer it into your Roth. So I always have my Roth maxed out because it's always in the money market. I just transfer it over. So definitely, again, choose to if you'd like to. I just gave you the template, literally copy and paste it in. Relationships really matter to me. I'm very grateful for the relationships that I've formed over the years. Some of these are pretty fun pictures. So Mike invited me out to see him in Chicago on Lake Michigan right there. Grant Paterakis and Kevin Gordon. That's right, the Costa Rica, not champions of basketball whatsoever, but getting to know them, the North Star division, doing some cool stuff at conferences. I try to pick some things from different trips. Budapest, I should say, the very first trip I ever went on as a college student, meeting some people, flying out to see a concert with Chris, Buddy, Darren, Jason, and then in Rome with a bunch of people there too. Danny Lewis, Mike, Jason, the McMickens, Daniel, seeing the Vatican. You know, I really believe that relationships define us, and who we spend our time with matters. And again, I've been blessed and I'm very grateful for the people that are in my life because of this knife thing. And if you'll indulge me, I'll take a moment to talk about them because they really matter to me. Oh, I forgot to say Bert Wicks, my oldest friend in the business. I had to find the very first picture ever of Robert and me at a Wild game our old region manager took us to. So that's why we're looking goofy in the top right there. But friendships matter to me. You know, Alex Burns, I value our friendship over the years and just how you've shown me to be able to work the right way with staff and how to treat people. Nate, dude, you gave me insight on what it took to work with 10K fast starters back in the day. And I love how we can actually have convos about that right now. Niku, you know, thanks for helping me be myself and showing me it's actually cool to be yourself. Phil, I don't think that I would have survived as a new DM without learning how to work with a receptionist as a young person from you. I love how Grant Paterakis can just turn it on anytime. Like 0 to 100, that guy always impresses me. And you've really helped me learn how to challenge reps and work with my top people. Greg, when I was a new rep, I remember hearing you talk about how you basically drove your car into the ground because it helped you save some money instead of buying a new one. I remember from that moment, I was like, I want to be like Greg. I've also learned from you that whenever you give a message in a meeting, you're supposed to show a picture of your kids. Really important. Yeah, there's that. And Danny, I really appreciate your energy. And I really try to model your selflessness and how you always give the recognition to other people instead of yourself. You know, Buddy, I remember just being a new DM with you growing up the business and always having somebody to compete within PRs, and you really pushed me and my team. Bobby, I don't think there's another person in the region that I can be myself more around than you. And Josh, you know, I watched you delegate as a new manager and lead through people. I wanted that as a new person. Plus, you really taught me how to not sing a Taylor Swift song and what it should not sound like. Jason, I really look up to you for your integrity, and I appreciate you being a roommate to me in pretty much every Cutco conference. You know, Cindy, Jen, Ann, the support and encouragement you've just given me over the years. I just thank you for being my biggest fans and always encouraging me. And Kyle, I remember one conversation over a lot of different things that stood out to me is in 2011, I was walking to the building when I was a branch manager. I had just had a new training group, my very first training I ever ran, and they sold 4,500 bucks. So it was a $1,500 pop. I remember you talking to me about that. I was, again, probably just somebody you were calling down the list to check off. And, I was a brand new manager. And you said simply, those are Mike Muriel numbers. And that comment actually gave me the confidence to be able to pretty much just think I knew what the heck I was doing. And it helped me stand up a little straighter when I ran training the rest of the summer. Speaking of Mike, you've taught me how to speak with purpose and conviction, and you really challenged me to think bigger and also differently. And then Dane, well, Dane, to quote Mike from earlier today, he's pretty good too. Business partner, mentor, big brother, friend. What have I not got from Dane? So I really value the relationships that I've been able to form here. And thanks for giving me a second to be able to do that. What's Central Region without crossing off some dreams, baby? I remember the very first contest I won as a district manager was the region, get this, they paid for me to get a new bed. I had had a twin bed my whole life. They bought a new bed for me. So when I got married, I got to put it in our house. And that was my first bet. That was the contest. I put the money towards that. The lifestyle of a district manager has enabled me to be able to coach a soccer team full time, by the way. My goal was to not just do it a couple times a week, but having the blessing of Evan Wingy and Curtis Haugen to help me do that this past year. And hey, we won undefeated. So getting the opportunity to have the 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. off Monday through Friday throughout the fall was such an exciting thing for me. And I'm really grateful for that. Being able to marry people. Did you know I'm ordained? That's right. I do quarantine weddings too. Hit me up. Not during May or June though. I've been able to travel a lot. I've been to over, I couldn't even count, 20 plus countries. But this was me going to Iceland. That was pretty cool. Being able to skydive with the money I earned from Cutco, going with old Cutco friend of mine, Bo Grams. Some of you may remember him. Being able to skydive, going deep sea fishing. And then Mike referenced earlier in the call, yes, I do a lot of stuff for my house, my koi pond, but I put a picture of the fire pit I personally created in the backyard. So I like to do some cool stuff for my house, but having the ability to take some time off and say, hey, I'm done with work at this time so I can do the things I'm passionate about. Didn't know I was going to turn into my dad and do stuff outside. But that's what happened. So to wrap up here, I'm going to talk to you about just some quick, simple lessons that I've learned as a district manager. And there's so many. I just picked out a couple that really stick with me the most. When I very first started the position, I remember going to my very first SC1 and my region manager at the time talking about and both versus either or. And that's what we do as solution finders. When somebody comes to you as a district manager, there are 0 problems you can't solve. How can you have this and this, not I have to do this or this? Read the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, because it allowed me to look at every single person that they can actually achieve whatever they want to achieve. It's allowed me to have that growth mindset as well, compared to, I just don't know if I can do it. Focus on getting just a little bit better every single day. Can you grow your CPO by $1? That's what I'm focused on. That's why I look at my quantum all the time. In fact, I look at it 3+ times a day because it's always up on my screen, my spreadsheet, my way I run my business. And it's all about just the little wins. Can you get a little bit better at recruiting? And I think I've again, made a career on just getting a little bit better. I believe that motivation is a luxury. I don't think that, all of America goes to work every single day to be motivated. And if they weren't motivated one day and they said, I'm just going to take it a little bit easy today, I'm probably going to sleep in and, not give my 100%, the boss would say, nope, too bad. You're going to do this with the exact energy you do every single day. And I don't care what you're going through. You got to get this work done. So if you have the motivation, that's great. If you don't, you still have to work. You still have to grind, and you still have to be passionate towards your goals. You get what you tolerate. That can be a fire number thing. If you don't hit your fire number and you settle for that and that's okay, that's the standard you set for yourself. So what I found with that is when you have standards, that's what you get. People always talk about, how I make a lot of spreadsheets. Yes, I do. Because I really treat this like a business, because it is. And I treat my district manager opportunity like a business, because that's what I am. I'm a business owner. And I want to track things to know how to improve them. You already know that you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I really believe that we can always continue to upgrade our circle of influence as well. Beck and I have been able to say, instead of things like, I can't get that, or I can't afford that, or I can't do that, we've turned that into, how can I? And I can't wait until. Tony Robbins says, if you ever think you can't, then you must. Your growth zone is right outside your comfort zone. So I've really tried to take that to heart in Vector. If I don't think I can do something, I need to do it so I can get to that next level. It's not always easy, but being able to be fascinated in certain situations and analyzing your inner self and knowing, what is the dialogue? What am I telling myself? Why am I feeling this way in a certain moment, compared to just getting frustrated? So the last thing I'll say is, what I feel has really enabled me to do this is just having that long-term vision and unwavering faith. So Dane pointed this out to me the other day, and I was really appreciative that he did, where, I mentioned that I feel like I've been able to stick around. And although there are times when, perhaps you felt, man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can keep pushing. In my Vector career, when certain things happen, I have never thought the option is to leave. What I felt is, things are going my way. How can I fix that? Because of everything I've told you already, that's why I'm still here. And that's why I continue to stay. Consistency and work ethic, I feel, has been a staple of mine. We tell our reps to have consistency. That's the best compliment you can get. I've been able to define my own definition of consistency working here for 12 years. And consistency is not working hard for a push period. Consistency is not working hard for one campaign. Consistency is working hard for a decade. That's when you can say you've been consistent. And being able to save money, I've already talked about that. I think that the wealth that I've been able to build is by no means the end all be all, but so far up until this point, it's because of being able to save. Whoever your mentor is, you need to partner with them. Dane will be the first to tell you that this poor guy, I called him 5 to 10 times a day as a new DM. And we still talk a lot. Dane, I was thinking about this the other day. I'm probably, you're definitely the person I've talked to the most since I opened as a DM. I gotta believe I'm probably the person in Vector you've talked to the most also, right? Because I work with you closely every day and I call you all the time. But who is the person for a branch manager? That's probably your district manager. For a district manager, it's probably your DVM, being able to partner with. And I'm so grateful to be able to learn from Dane for however long I get to. I'm going to milk that for as long as possible, because that's my guy. That's the person I partner with to learn life and business with. Because I've been a consistent recruiter, I've been able to keep the main thing, just like Buddy said earlier. And I think that if you looked at my numbers, you'd notice that campaign in, campaign out, no, I haven't broken any huge records or had that breakout year, but consistently recruiting and helping other people get this opportunity, because I never know when another district manager is going to walk into my doors, potentially get the exact same experience I've gotten. So the last thing I'll say is, hey, we've got a pretty awesome opportunity. And whether you're just thinking, I'm just doing this for the summer because I want to get some awesome experience. Hey, I was thinking that in 2011. I was going to school for child psychology, like Kyle said. I probably could, I guess, teach a kid how to sell knives. I guess that's what that degree helped me with. All right, so I didn't know what I was going to be doing in the future. But again, no matter where you're at right now, I want you to understand that, hey, this is a really cool place to be, where you figure out where you want to be. And this is an awesome place to be regardless, period. So yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. I'm excited to get to know a lot of you if I don't know you already. And let's have our best year ever to make this region the best freaking region ever in the history of the universe in Cutco. Thanks, guys.